Have you ever realized that the person you've been searching for has been living under the same roof all along? What would you do if the person you encouraged to find love suddenly looked you in the eyes and said, "Maybe I already found someone"? And what if that someone was you? Today's story is full of unexpected emotions, hidden feelings, and a life-changing confession that will keep you guessing until the very end. So make sure you stay with us, because the ending might just leave a smile on your face. Before we begin, if you enjoy heartwarming love stories with emotional twists, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Also, tell us in the comments where you're watching from. We love hearing from you. Now, let's get started. I smiled as I washed the dinner plates in our Seattle apartment. "You know," I teased my roommate, "Emma, it's been 2 years since your breakup. Maybe it's time you started dating again." She looked up from the couch where she'd been reading a book. For a moment, she didn't answer. Instead, she stared at me with a strange expression I couldn't quite understand. "What?" I laughed. "Don't tell me you're planning to become a cat lady." She rolled her eyes. "Very funny." "I'm serious, though. You're smart, funny, and way out of most guys' leagues. Half the men in this city would probably ask you out if you gave them a chance." A small smile appeared on her face, but it quickly faded. I dried my hands and sat across from her. "Come on. You've spent the last 2 years working, reading, and pretending you don't notice when people flirt with you. And you've spent the last 2 years minding everyone else's business," she shot back. I laughed. "Fair point." For a few seconds, silence filled the apartment. Rain tapped softly against the windows. Then Emma closed her book and looked directly at me. "Maybe I already found someone." I grinned. "Oh, poor guy must be terrified." She didn't laugh. Instead, she slowly stood from the couch and walked toward me. My smile began to fade. There was something different in her eyes. Something serious, something I'd never noticed before. She stopped only inches away, close enough for me to hear her nervous breathing, close enough for my heart to start racing. "He is," she whispered. I swallowed hard. "Why?" Her lips curved into a nervous smile. "Because he still thinks we're just roommates." The room suddenly felt very small. I stared at her, trying to process what she had just said. Before I could answer, before I could even ask who she meant, the sound of a key turning in the front door broke the silence. A second later, someone stepped inside, and the look on Emma's face told me everything was about to change. The apartment door swung open, and Emma's older brother, Daniel, walked in carrying a cardboard box. He looked from Emma to me, then smiled as if he'd walked into a conversation he'd been expecting for years. "I finally said it," Emma admitted, her cheeks turning bright red. Daniel let out a relieved laugh. "It's about time." I looked at both of them, completely confused. Can someone tell me what's going on?" Daniel set the box on the kitchen table. "Emma's been in love with you since the day you helped her move into this apartment." I blinked. "What?" Emma lowered her eyes and nodded. "I wanted to tell you so many times. Every birthday, every Christmas, every movie night we spent together. But I was terrified that if you didn't feel the same, I'd lose my best friend and the only home that ever felt real." Memories suddenly came rushing back. The homemade soup she brought me when I caught the flu. The way she always saved me the last slice of pizza. The countless evenings she'd stayed awake just to make sure I got home safely after working late. I'd always thought she was simply being a thoughtful roommate. Now every moment carried a different meaning. Daniel smiled and quietly picked up his box. "I think you two have a lot to talk about." As the door closed behind him, the apartment fell silent again. Emma looked at me nervously. "If you don't feel the same, I understand. I promise I'll move out. I never wanted to make things awkward." I stepped closer and gently took her hands. "You know why I kept telling you to date again?" She shook her head. "Because I thought someone as amazing as you deserved to be happy." A tear rolled down her cheek. I smiled. I was just too blind to realize I wanted that someone to be me. Before she could say another word, I wrapped my arms around her. She laughed through happy tears. "So, we're really doing this?" I kissed her forehead and smiled. "No more roommates." She squeezed my hand. "From now on, we're building a future together.